Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Early Edge. We are brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. We've had some pretty great, I don't want to say legendary, but some pretty great recap screens over the last couple of days, really the last few days on the winning side of it. Let's see how we did before we bring in the stars of the show. And one of them is sitting right next to me in studio, folks. 3-in-1. Jeff Hockman hits again. Back-to-back days where he hits the Ottawa Senators. Larry Hartstein hits his pick very easily. EC hits his play on the over. And Tom Casale had that over 12.5 points. Well, listen, PJ Edwards had 10 in the first half and somehow didn't get to 13. So very easily could have been 4-0. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll take 3-1 and we'll take this cast right here, right now on the Early Edge because, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Taft Gantt sitting right next to me. We got Mikey B, we got Mike McClure, and we've got Sia Nejad buckets. Okay, that's fair. Oh, top button, I totally get it now. All right, Mikey B, I want to go to you first, but first I got to go to, because we got the NBA stuff to talk about, but Taft, you're sitting right next to me. You got some golf picks. I'm sure you're looking great. I'm sure the Looks Like game is alive and well in the chat. How you doing, buddy?
Super Bowl week just means waste management for the golf market out there. If you're not ready to wait until Sunday to sweat out those bets, let's give you some bets to sweat out for the next 4 days. I'm so happy to be here with you, Sia.
Thanks, man. WM Phoenix Open. Mike McClure, you got to be pretty excited about this one. I mean, golf season is very much underway. Yeah, we have the Super Bowl to sweat. You got a lot of Super Bowl commentary you've been giving out across all the different CBS platforms. But how excited are you about the Phoenix Open?
It's the start of the golf season for me, Sia. None of the fake golf tournaments with multiple courses and all that. Look, this is the start of the season, and I'm very fired up for it. I love the field that we have. Scotty, a ridiculous 25% sim win percent for me. Love it, though. I think it creates a lot of interesting questions in the market. Huge DFS slates for it as well. Multiple $1 million out there on the line in DFS for golf this week. So absolutely loving everything that's going on this week.
Yeah, I know there's been some questions, Mike, about some DFS stuff. We're going to try to get something carved out for everybody. But if you have DFS questions in the chat, put them in there. If you have questions golf-related, put them in the chat. Buckets, what's up with the top button? By the way, you look amazing today.
Thank you. No, just trying something new, trying to mix things up a bit. Been on a bit of a cold streak, so I'm channeling my inner Sia Nejad and seeing if that fixes things a bit.
It's going to do it. Mikey B, before we get into official picks, your commentary on the NBA trade deadline, because a lot happened yesterday, and I guess there's still room. We still have, another day for the trade deadline to come and go?
Yeah, the trade deadline is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so we still have over 24 hours for teams to make trade. The big ones yesterday, Harden going to the Cavaliers, and what I think is an awful, awful trade for the Cavaliers, who are desperate to advance in the playoffs, and they go out and get a guy who was one of the worst playoff performers we've seen in recent years. I think that was a terrible trade. And then the Jazz making that big trade with the Grizzlies, going out and getting Jaren Jackson Jr. They gave up 3 first-round picks in that trade. I still think they're going to tank this year. They're too far out of that last spot in the play-in tournament, but looking good for them going forward. And then I just have to throw it in there, see it. The Bulls finally, mercifully got rid of Nikola Vucevic. I don't have to watch him butcher pick-and-roll defense anymore. So it was a good day for Bulls fans.
All right, we're going to get to some picks. By the way, I'm on the other side of it, and I'm not the NBA guru that Mikey B is, but I thought the Cavaliers were so underwhelming this year that I don't mind them shaking things up and just hoping James Harden actually becomes a guy in the playoffs, especially in a watered-down Eastern Conference. Mike McClure, talk to me about your picks, because one is on the WM Phoenix Open and one is in college basketball tonight.
Yeah, we'll start with college basketball tonight. Team total under. We've got Colorado and Baylor. I'm going to fade Colorado just at this big number. The number is 75.5, fading that 76th point. I just think there are many outcomes, covering, not covering, winning outright, not winning outright, that they don't involve scoring 76 points in this game. This is a team that relies pretty heavily on shooting from the perimeter. Some of that doesn't necessarily travel well. That's what I'm expecting here when you talk about these February games on the road midweek. I expect a little bit of a slower start from Colorado offensively against Baylor. Now, this Baylor team is far from the defensive threat that it had been, really over the last decade, but I do expect them to round into form defensively as we get closer to the end of the season here. But really just a kind of a play on the number here. I really thought this number should have been a little bit lower. It popped as a pretty decent edge for me overall in terms of leaning under on the full game, but isolating that Colorado side's where I want to be. So I've got their median tonight, almost 72 points, right at 71, up over a full possession. Is pretty significant when it comes to team total edges here. So give me Colorado's team total under 75.5, fade that 76 point at Baylor. And then, you want to go ahead, Sia?
No, I was going to say then tee us up for, the pun intended, for WM Phoenix Open. You got a top 30 play.
Yeah, I got a top 30 play. Daniel Berger, someone that we've all seen kind of the upside that he's flashed at points throughout his career. He had an awful injury situation that really took quite a bit of time to recover from, but I think he's fully back here. Found this on DK. It's top 30, including ties, plus 108. So I've got Daniel Berger 16th in my sims overall, firmly putting him inside the top 30 with ties, particularly at this price point. I would have made the top 30 with ties plus 108 at minus 125 here. So pretty substantial edge on a top 30 market. For me, Berger just kind of checks all the boxes and really just betting on his overall health, right? I know we want to talk about certain metrics and the course fit and all of the things. To me, I just think the sentiment was far too low. I get that he was basically injured for 2 seasons. I think he's fully healthy. I think he's fully back. He has had a little success here, but not necessarily just about the success here, just profiles well for this course. So give me Berger top 30, including ties. Feel very good about this. If we're talking about the guy making the cut, playing the weekend, plus 108 on the top 30, including ties.
Taft, let's continue with the golf theme, because it looks like you answered some questions in the chat. I know one related to Sam Burns, and I know there was somebody else that you were addressing with a question in the chat.
Yeah, Kylie had a question about Cam Young, or she likes him to go low, and I believe it was a top 10. And I know that that's right in line with what your pick was, a top 10 or even an outright, maybe without Scheffler market for Cam Young, just because he's such a good putter, and that's going to matter a lot at TPC Scottsdale. We've seen it in the past. This is a birdie fest. Thomas Dietrich went very low at 24 under last year. It might not be that low of a total this year if winds do pick up. However, if you can get a guy who likes the flat stick, say you're Cam Young, she also mentioned Sam Burns, that's going to really help you out and maybe allow you to put up a fight against the one and only Scottie Scheffler, who Mike mentioned is pretty much the front runner, more so than we've ever seen in the past, at nearly 2-to-1 odds.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, for him to come up 25% in your sims is pretty wild, right? I mean, you just don't see that.
Well, the wild part is like 25% win percent in the sims and a terrible bet to make. That's the part that's crazy, right? So like, yes, I think it sounds funny saying terrible bet to make. Like, yes, Scotty can go win. He probably can go win this tournament. Having said that, just the expected value on making that bet, a bad bet at the price. Just incredible to see someone in golf have I'm giving him a 25% chance to win the golf tournament, and it's still not a playable number.
If you watch the early wedge, I'm addressing Scottie Scheffler by just not addressing Scottie Scheffler. I've got him in the without Scottie market. All my picks are in the without Scottie market. Cam Young is one of those picks. Mav McNeely. And I'll get into maybe first-round leaders later, but also Ricky Fowler is on my list in the without Scottie Scheffler market. Mikey B, let's turn back to the NBA. We got a lot of questions coming in, NBA-related, but golf-related and soccer-related as well. Mikey B, talk to me about some NBA picks for tonight.
First up, we're going to do Alperen Şengün over 15.5 rebounds and assists at minus 118. He's had at least 16 combined rebounds and assists in 8 of his last 12 games. Steven Adams is out for the rest of the season, so there should be more rebounding opportunities for him. This game is being played in Houston, and that's noteworthy because Şengün averages 10.4 rebounds and 6.4 assists at home. On the road, he's only averaging 8.7 rebounds to go along with 6.3 assists. Last time he played the Celtics, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Nikola Vucevic is probably not going to be in uniform for the Celtics in this game. Even if he is, I like Şengün to go over 15.5 rebounds and assists. And then, who isn't excited about Grizzlies Kings? We're going to do Ty Jerome over 20.5 points and assists. The Grizzlies got that Jaren Jackson Jr. big trade on Tuesday. The main haul they got there were draft picks. So they're going to have a big void in the scoring department. I don't think any of the players that they got will be available for this game. So Jerome's been playing limited minutes since he came back from injury, but he still had at least 26 points and assists in both of those games. I think you could get a couple extra minutes here against a Kings team that has the third worst defensive rate in the league. So I like him to go over 20.5 points and assists.
We've got a live bet alert courtesy of John Eimer. Buckets, what you got?
If you have the Romanian Superliga, there's a matchup taking place. Sia, your favorite club, Meta Globus Bucuresti, is taking on Șic Zoreda. Both teams to scores plus 100 right now. I dropped it in the chat for you if you want to tail that. Meta Globus, the team that is down 1-0, has almost 70% possession. They're absolutely dominating. The question is, can they get one on target? And I think they do.
All right. Loving the live bets. We got an actual official pick, a pre-flop official pick coming from you in just a couple of minutes. Mikey B, real quick. Big Cheesy is jumping in the chat just like he did 2 days ago with like a 20-plus point parlay. And this one is Jokic and Durant 20-plus points minus 135. Parlay.
Yeah, I do like that. We do just have to keep an eye on Jokic. He recently came back from injury. This is the second game of a back-to-back set for the Nuggets. He's not normally one to rest, but I don't know what the Nuggets are going to do with him. If he plays, though, I do like that.
All right. We like that. And we like our BetMGM promos. We got a lot more picks to come, but I just want to tell you, especially when it comes to the NBA, we got a lot of BetMGM promos to talk about. BetMGM players will receive a no-sweat bet token to apply to any bet on the NBA today. That means if you make an NBA bet and it loses, you'll still receive bonus bets back only at BetMGM. Like I said, a lot more picks to get to, including some picks from the guy right over here, Taft Gantt. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll come up right after this message from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
All right, we're back on the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Buckets, you're going to have to wait another couple of minutes with that top button fastened because I'm going to let the guy to my left go and give out some WM Phoenix Open picks. You've got the floor, Taft.
Thank you, Sia. I'm seeing double. I'm tempted to button my top button, too, just to make it majority rules here on this.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
We mentioned Scheffler. I'll mention him once again. I'm completely staying away. Large part of it is because Mike has him winning at a 25% clip. So with that, let's go to the without Scheffler market and go to the favorite in that market. That's Xander Schauffele. You can get him at 16-1 to win without Scotty. He missed the cut last week, but hear me out. Justin Rose missed the cut of his first PGA Tour event. He went on to win last year. It's a correlation that I see between two golfers who are playing very good golf. We saw Schauffele win the tournament he played in before last week. He missed the cut, broke the 72 consecutive streak, and that allowed him to spend some time at home in San Diego after round two. He told our network, CBS, that he did not feel that his game was too far off. Sometimes you miss the cut. It allows you to relax, take some weight off your shoulders. I'm going to play that narrative with Xander, take advantage of probably a little boosted odds at 16-1 in the without Scheffler market. He was 12-1, the favorite to win last week. Let's not forget, he's going to be one of the best guys at TPC Scottsdale, and he has a great track record here. Hasn't finished outside top 20 ever in this event. He took a couple years off. He has some top fives there. I think that he could sneak his way to the top of the leaderboard come Sunday. Let me also give you a guy, Sia, who we've been talking a lot. That's Maverick McNeely. We've been talking about him all week, mainly because he's been red hot. Top 10 finish last week, and he has played great at TPC Scottsdale in his career. A T6 and a T9 in the last 2 years. He shot a 63, which was tied for the lowest round of the tournament last year. He's proved that he can get it done on this golf course. Let's bet on him to beat Victor Hovland, a guy who is probably getting some better value on this bet. It's basically a pick 'em because he is such a big name. It's his first time back on the PGA Tour this season. McNeely right now is the better golfer. I'm going to take that at minus 110. One more for you, and this is a guy who has a complete turnaround from last year. That's Sahith Theegala. This is not the 2025 version of Theegala that you're getting. Last 2 weeks, T8 and T7. That's two more than he had all of last year, a.k.a. he had none last year. Let's bet on him to get a third straight this week. He finished inside the top 5 twice at TPC Scottsdale in the last 4 years. let's bet on him to do it once again. I really like Theegala in this spot.
All right. And did you already do, I was responding to some one and done questions. Did you do Matt McNeely over Victor Hovland?
We talked about our boy.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Got McNeely.
I got distracted because Jen was like, hey, on the Splash Sports one and done, she said, I think it's funny that you have to pick two golfers. I didn't realize that. Mutandas was in the chat telling me the same thing. So what the Splash Sports contest is doing is they want you to pick your one and done. But I guess in case of withdrawal, Mike, maybe you know this from doing one and dones, they want you to pick an alternate just in case, which is very easy to do. You just pick on a second golfer. But Mike, I don't know if you're in the Splash Sports contest. Have you ever seen that where they ask you to pick an alternate?
I have not.
Okay.
Yeah, that was interesting. No, I have not seen that.
And again, I think that's just a safety thing in case your guy gets, because I think it would have been valid if I had just made the one pick, but I think they're just giving you a safety net with the alternate. But good catch by everybody in the chat. We've got about 520 people that are in this contest, which is actually pretty good. If we can get to 600-700, that would be amazing. We still have 24 hours to do it. Splashsports.com/wedge. Again, splashsports.com/wedge gets you into the contest. If you're already part of Splash Sports because of the NFL contest, just go into the app, search CBS Sports. You'll see CBS Sports commish pop up. Enter the contest. $5,000 on the line. It's completely free. A lot of bragging rights. Sia Nejad, a.k.a. John Eimer, a.k.a. Buckets. If you don't mind, can we get a soccer pick from you?
Of course, but real quick, I'm on the splashsports.wedge site. Who do I pick for my one player in this?
Mike, you've probably gotten a lot of one and done questions.
Let me head over to the splashsports.website.
Thank you. Dot wedge site.
That's what he said. He said dot website.
Yes.
Look, one and done is such a fascinating thing. Who should Buckets play at this?
It's got to be somebody down the board.
Right.
Or further down.
Let's see. Let's find someone who may or may not. Play Ryan Fox.
Yes. Play Ryan Fox.
It's got the last name Fox. Like play Ryan Fox.
Yeah.
You will be one of one. There will be nobody else in the contest playing Ryan Fox.
All right.
Hey, he's shown upside, just not recently, but Ryan Fox has won.
All right.
He's
I got
plus
Ryan
164 for a top 40 finish, including ties. So if you're out there in the chat, I'm just messing with Buckets. Do not play Ryan Fox in your one and done this week.
Well, he's locked in. So let's talk about some soccer as well here. Thank you for the help here, Mike. Today's a very tricky day in the soccer or footy world because we have so many cup matches. And as we know in the past, cup matches can just be difficult. A lot of teams don't try. A lot of teams aren't going to play their best players. A lot of teams will rotate heavily, which is why I found the manager who will not rotate. I'm looking at Olivier Pa, the manager of Lorient. This Lorient side in the French Cup was newly promoted this season, and he has turned this team around in an incredible way. Not only did they get promoted, but they are now 9th on the Ligue 1 table, and they have not lost in their last 11 matches across all competitions. He has already talked about how he fully intends to play this Paris FC side to the best of their abilities and advancing to the next round. I like Lorient to win this match outright if you want to play that at plus 130, but my way of kind of giving myself a little bit of a safety net is a same game parlay of Lorient double chance parlayed with over 1.5 goals. That still gets you to minus 110, which for me is a very playable number. Again, Lorient have not lost in their last 11 matches, and they're playing a Paris FC side that is going to be a bit more concerned with surviving relegation than they are qualifying and advancing in the French Cup. So I think Lorient went outright, but just wanted to give you guys kind of a different angle to possibly play it. That way you can use some same game parlay boost as well.
Joe Neuenfeld in the chat says, I feel like Sia's off screen trying to make Taft laugh, which is, I haven't done that yet, but that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, you can't tell just how close we are. I'd imagine if I stuck my hand out fully, you'd be able to see my hand in front of Sia's face.
All right. Yeah, we just dapped up. All right, let's get to some questions before I give out my golf play as well. A lot of questions in the chat. Big Roadie, Mikey B, says, he's been having fun doing double-double bets. Do you like Wemby and Cat for plus 189?
I worry about Wemby facing the Thunder. That would probably be the one of that I don't like. I'd rather do like Cat and Şengün. I think Şengün's going to have a big night tonight. Already gave out his over on rebounds and assists. I think he could easily have a double-double tonight, if not a triple-double.
Mike, we have it's kind of a silly bet in the courtesy of Jeff Stenberg, of course. Maybe it's not silly to you. The Octopus plus 1,600, for those who don't know what an octopus is in the Super Bowl or really in any game, and Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's a guy who catches a touchdown and then also catches a 2-point conversion for the full 8 points. It's plus 1,600. These are not bets you touch, right, Mike?
Yeah, definitely not. I would touch the no side of it if there were, if it was close, if it was big free, but no, this number, like the true math on it from across the league stats, probably right at plus 3,000 is where it should be.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
So yeah, no, it would not be something I would play.
Mikey B, Kings money line asks Atlanta Braves. He says, hey, the Grizz G League is basically out there. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I would lean there, but I'd be careful because I don't think the Kings are looking to make moves. Sabonis is questionable tonight. He is one guy that's really big in the trade rumors, so he might not play. I could see Malik Monk possibly being moved today too. DeRozan's another guy in trade rumors. So we could get the G League Kings last minute too. So my recommendation is if you're going to bet any sides or team totals, you have to wait until almost tip-off with the trade deadline coming into play because things can change just like that. I mean, look at what happened yesterday in the Jazz-Pacers game. The Jazz made that trade. Yusuf Nurkic was originally ruled out. Then they made him available, but he didn't play at all. And then the Pacers sat literally everybody because they were playing the Jazz. So a lot of weird stuff can happen with the trade deadline. You got to be very careful.
Buckets, Giuseppe Maricino says, thoughts on this parlay? Stuttgart team total over 1.5 and PSV Heerenveen over 2.5 at plus 105.
So the PSV Heerenveen leg should hit pretty easily. PSV will probably cover that by themselves, to be honest, with how well they're playing right now and how dominant they are in the KNV Becker Cup. My concern is honestly the Stuttgart line. I thought about taking both teams to score in over 2.5 goals in that game. Holstein Kiel is just such a tough team to beat, even being a league lower playing at home. And Stuttgart manager has mentioned that they plan on rotating in this matchup. So it might be a wait for lineups kind of deal. Make sure you've got a player like Undav playing. But all in all, I don't hate it.
Let's go back to some Super Bowl props. And Mikey B, if you want to put your hand up, because I always kind of like box you out of the NFL questions because you're all usually on here for NBA. But if you have a take on any of these, please let me know. Let's talk about Josh Davis. Mike, I think this is a prop that's right up your alley. Not that you support it necessarily, but thoughts on over 7.5 punts minus 110 in the Super Bowl. For some reason, I feel like that number's low.
I would have to run through my numbers again to see where I've got it. I would not be taking the over at this point, personally. Okay. I'd have to look though. I'm admittedly not prepared on the punts in terms of where the computer has it, but my instinct would be under before over.
What's interesting is Josh Davis also says thoughts on over 1.5 fourth down conversions minus 120. I feel like those are negatively correlated, like in a bad way. So, I mean, I think it's kind of one or the other there. Mikey B, you had some thoughts.
Yeah, I don't like that punt one. All it takes is 1 or 2 turnovers, and that's toast. A long field goal try, that kind of thing. So I like that fourth down one way more than I like the over on the punts one.
Yeah, I would say to Mikey's point, just the game has changed just a touch. We like to embrace the variance. There's more variance in markets like that now in today's NFL, with just the more willingness to attempt fourth downs, the longer field goals being in play, and the kickoff rules, right? Changing the average starting field position. So there are 3 things that have drastically increased the amount of variance in markets like that.
It's always an education with Mike. Thanks for that context as well. Tailored Winnings says buckets, Alianza Lima money line plus money. Is it worth it?
It's a really hard matchup. It's in the Libertadores, so it's all the South American countries play each other, so we don't really have head-to-head data to look through. We don't have a lot of comparisons to make. What I will say is that Alianza Lima is one of the better clubs in Peru, which is generally viewed as a better league than Paraguay, where Mayo plays. So I don't hate this at plus 120. I'd be cautious as always, but I do think they end up winning this.
Mikey B, Cleveland Clown is saying, I think he's referring to the Ty Jerome points and assist line. If it's 22.5, is it at that point, are we staying away from it?
I think he could still hit the over, but that might be a half unit play as opposed to a full unit play. That's a pretty big jump there.
Taft, I want to ask you about Hideki Matsuyama in a second because we had a question, but let's get to another soccer question, Buckets, from Andrew Stanek. Thoughts on Real Sociedad to qualify if Deportivo Alaves at minus 120? I don't know what I just read.
You did your best, and that's all we can ever do, Sia. So I'm proud of you, and I feel as though you're doing a good job. I like this bet as well, Andrew Stanek. Real Sociedad is a good club right now, in good form, and their manager Matazzaro is one of those guys that cares a lot about any chance at silverware. So while Alaves might rotate a little bit here, I'm not expecting Sociedad to do the same. I think it's a good shout.
All right. Silverware reminds me of my pick. It's Sam Burns minus 124 over JJ, not Spoon, but Spawn. You like that? Minus 124 here. I like Sam Burns going into this tournament. I think you probably like Sam Burns a little bit here as well. Now, this is a 3-ball round 1 matchup. So just to be full disclosure here, this one you can only find over on DK. I do have a 3-ball that I gave out on the early wedge. It's going to sound pretty familiar because I had a 3-ball lean last Friday on Hao Tong Lee, and that one hit. So if you want the 3-ball, go watch the early wedge on the SportsLine YouTube channel or listen to the podcast, and you'll get that pick. But Sam Burns minus 124 over JJ Spawn. I think we're actually getting some value here. I mean, this is obviously juicy, and JJ Spawn's a great golfer. But on this course, I don't know that JJ Spawn's skill set is really going to be as good as Sam Burns. With Sam Burns with the putter, Sam Burns off the tee, and the history that Sam Burns has here is pretty spectacular. Look at JJ Spawn. I think we're starting to see, small sample size, starting to see a little bit of regression coming from him. His first couple of starts haven't been great. He's still going to be good this year, but on this course, I really like Sam Burns. Round 1, 4 rounds, what have you, minus 124 over JJ Spawn. Again, this is under the 3-ball matchups tab, just so everybody knows. Hideki Matsuyama, we haven't talked about him. And Mike, I don't know, you might have some comments on Hideki as well, because I know that's a guy that you back here and there. The question was, Taft, are we hot or cold on Hideki this week?
Oh, we're red hot. It's a surprise that I don't have him on my card. He not only is one of the 2-time winners in this event, there's 3. We mentioned Scotty Scheffler. Brooks Koepka's the other, staying away just because he's still getting comfortable in his return. Hideki Matsuyama, though, he's won it twice. He won back-to-back in 2017, back-to-back in 2018. That might sound like a long time ago, but in his 12 starts here at TPC Scottsdale, 2 wins, like I just mentioned, 4 top 5s, 9 top 25s. So he's hitting top 25 at a 75% clip. I like him to do that again because of his recent form. You've seen Hideki go with a win at the Hero World Challenge in December, and then in the 2 events he's played in so far this year, 2 top 15 finishes. Hideki not only is one of my favorite golfers, but I would look to bet him in some place markets, whether it's top 10, top 20. You can get both of those at plus money.
Mike, did you get around already to looking at Hideki and maybe betting him in any markets?
Yes, I like Hideki. I don't have a ton of straight value on him, but I'm pretty much neutral, right? So not negative EV, not plus EV, certainly can lean into it. If I were to play him, it would be outright markets, potentially outright without Scotty, decent number that he's catching there. And then honestly, I would probably lay the minus 150 currently on the top 30, including ties. With Hideki at that point. I feel very strongly if he's, playing the weekend, he's going to be in the top 30.
All right, we've got some Poston questions. I'm not a JT Poston guy, everybody. I think his win equity is pretty bad, but we're talking about in the first round leader market, it looks like a Michael Heimseth and Farzad talking about JT Poston potentially as a first round leader. I'll just let everybody know who my first round leaders were from the early wedge. And there was a Twitter comment about, and Mike, you might have, I don't know if you have any weather analysis here. It does look like the afternoon might be a little easier than the morning, which is atypical, but the wind might be down just a little bit in the afternoon. I don't know that it might be negligible, it might be a non-factor, but most of my guys are in the afternoon. That's why I bring it up. Cam Young, Mav McNeely, Ricky Fowler, my outrights. Those are my 3 first-round leaders, but I did add Nikolai Højgaard as a guy that I think can splash as well as a first-round leader. So those are my 4. 3 of the 4, I believe, are more in the afternoon rather than the morning. Mike, any weather analysis here on the Phoenix Open?
Yeah. Look, I think that I'm treating it pretty neutral at this point. I'm going to continue to monitor it. I know it's definitely, I see the reports. I see everything there where it could be more difficult wind-wise in the morning. I don't know at this point if I think it's going to be a massive difference. Slight preference towards PM guys, but overall at an event like this, I would trend towards just playing the guys that you like and not truly trying to load up on a early or late wave.
Fair enough. We've got some comments here. Burns, first-round leader. He was definitely on the short list of first-round leaders for me, Farzad, mentioning him. And then we've got some other comments I wanted to read. Let's see. I probably lost it, but really good stuff. Taft, did we miss anything golf question-wise?
Let's see.
I think we've got it covered. Looking across the board, there's some absolutely fire matchups, 3 balls that you could look to bet on. Sky Scheffler, Chris Goddard, Jordan Spieth. That's a hot one. We've mentioned Maverick McNeely. He's playing alongside, let me find it, Matt McCarty, who's a Scottsdale native. We haven't mentioned his name, but he could be a good FRL to look at. And then Billy Horschel is also in that tee time. So just look at the full tee sheet, and the afternoon wave is going to be better, I believe, because it's going to be less wind. It's the dry desert air, so people are going to be able to hit the ball pretty far and put up some low numbers tomorrow for Thursday's round 1. I didn't see any more in the chat, though. If you have any matchup-related questions, be sure to post them now.
Yeah, or tomorrow morning, it'll be in the middle or the beginnings of the round when we're doing the early edge. So you can ask questions. Some of those matchups will still be on the board. I will mention, because you talk about the desert air and some rollout here. I mean, guys like Poston, the shorter hitters, Matt McCarty, certainly can find success here. Mikey B, were there any NBA questions before we get to the recap screen and buckets? I'm going to ask you the same question.
Yeah, Steve Folkerts asked if anyone likes the Nuggets or the Celtics covering or winning on the road today. Both teams back-to-back sets. So, Steve, I would say we got to wait till injury reports come out on those and see who is or is not playing.
Top button buckets. Anything we left on the table here?
Ben, did you work that graphic in that I sent you? Were you able to get that on screen? Yeah, there he is.
There we go.
Boy. Fox has been
Ryan Fox. We got to take him now. We got to sprinkle something on his outright in the without Scotty Scheffler market. Is that all you got?
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Did you pick an alternate as well? Because that's a thing, apparently.
Oh,
you gotta
no.
click another name.
I'll text Mike and ask who to pick as an alternate.
I'll send you a real pick. I'll send you a real pick.
Thank you.
You have buckets. You have license to change Fox to your alternate, and maybe somebody like Daniel Berger or Hideki, somebody we've talked about, as your actual pick. So
my hope is that his actual pick now misses. Fox makes the cut and gets paid.
I do want to thank people in the chat, and forgive me because I'm not fully caught up on the chat, when I'm in studio. But people like Jen, who I don't think are golf people and who signed up for the contest. Again, this is a super fun contest. It takes 0 time commitment outside of literally clicking 2 pictures every week as you're one and done. So for people that are in the NFL streets and they've decided, hey, I like the Splash Sports format and Early Edge is doing a contest, I'm going to join it. There's money on the line and all that, and bragging rights, all that. I do appreciate those people because I don't think this is a contest just for golf people. It's super fun and it's super easy. There's absolutely no commitment. If Buckets can do it, right, Buckets? If Buckets can do it, anybody can do it, right, Buckets?
Right.
Okay.
James says that we're up to 877 in the Splash one and done, so we should be able to get to 1,000 before tomorrow.
No, that 877 is in the football one.
That's in the football one.
Yeah, that was what we got to. If we get to 877 in this, because it's growing because people realize the deadline is coming up, but we're still at like 525 or 500. If we get to 600 or 700 in the Splash Sports one, that would actually be a pretty big success. So go tell your friends.
526 now with Buckets.
Okay. 526 with Buckets. Here we go. All right, let's get to the recap screen, and we'll get everybody out of here. But real quick programming note, I do want to mention that the Picks show, the NFL Picks show, is 12 o'clock today, and our prop show, instead of being Friday at 3 o'clock, is going to be Thursday at 3 o'clock. So a lot of NFL Super Bowl content coming your way with the Picks show at 12 o'clock today and the prop show tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Of course, probably some Super Bowl stuff on the early edge tomorrow morning as well. Round 1 matchup tomorrow, Sam Burns minus 124 over JJ Spawn. Don't forget about the Hao Tong lean. Then we go to Buckets pick, Lorient double chance plus over 1.5 goals, minus 110. Mikey B, Alperen Sengun over 15.5 rebounds and assists, minus 118. Ty Jerome over 20.5 points and assists, minus 110. College basketball, Colorado team total under 75.5 at minus, that looks like minus 118 from Mike McClure. Daniel Berger top 30, including ties, plus 108. And then finally, Taft Gantt like Xander Schauffele in the without Scotty Scheffler market at 16-1. So hit the gala top 10 at plus 450. And Maverick McNeely minus 110 over Victor Hovland in a tournament. That is a tournament matchup, correct?
Correct.
As opposed to round 1. All right. Those are our picks for today. Again, more picks golf-related on the Early Wedge. More picks coming golf-related on the Early Edge tomorrow morning. A lot coming your way, including a lot of Super Bowl, NBA, college basketball, you name it. We've got it on the Early Edge. We've got Taft in studio. We've got Mike McClure. We've got Buckets, a.k.a. Sia Nejad. Never looking better. And, of course, we got Mikey B. What a great show this was. Taft, do you mind? Do you know the tagline to close this out?
I rest my case.
I rest my case. Thank you, Ben. Go ahead.
We rest our case.
Let's go.
Thank you, Sia's
Go.
plural.